Good morning all, welcome back to my channel The Campus Point. So today's video I am going to explain the most frequently asked Java question in 2020 and 21 by SCL Technology. So let us discuss that particular question, and another thing I want to make you clear that whenever interviewer is asking the questions, just try to make the answer or give the answer in proper way. That means in short. Don't go for much more explanation unless and until it is asked by the interviewer, because the problem is that whenever you are unnecessarily explaining a particular things, then from your answer the interviewer is getting some new questions, and again he will asking you the same. So here the point is that just give the answer whatever it is asking for, right? So let us come to the first questions, that what are the OOPS concept? What are the OOPS concept? This is the first question, OOPS concept, right? So OOPS concept is nothing but OOPS stands for basically your object oriented programming systems, and basically a language is known as object oriented if it follows certain features. So let us try to find out the various OOPS feature, that is class, object, next one is abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, next one is polymorphism. Also some other concepts are there, like your binding, message passing, that is binding, message passing. So these are the some concept of OOPS. If any language is following all these, is known as object oriented programming language. So whenever interviewer is asking that what are the various OOPS concept, just tell those name, at least 4, but don't go for explanation unless and until it is asked by the interviewer. If the interviewer is asking what is abstraction, then you are bound to explain. So now this is the first questions, that is OOPS concept, and these are the various OOPS concept you need to remember. So second question, how can you achieve multiple inheritance in Java? How can you achieve multiple inheritance in Java? So in this case, multiple inheritance, how to achieve multiple inheritance. So as we already know that Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes, but it is possible through what? Interface. So your simple answer should be, multiple inheritance can be achieved in Java by using interface. And for that you need to use a word, or that is known as keyword, that is your implements. For class we are using extends for creating a class, and for interface we are using implements. So here the simple answer will be, by using interface we can achieve multiple inheritance in Java, and whenever we are extending a class from an interface we must use implement keywords. So that will be the short answer. So now the third one is, now let us move to the third one. So third one will be, can a class be final? Third one is, can a class be final? Can we declare a class as final? Can you declare a class as final? Right? That means first thing is final. Final is nothing but, it basically uses in 3 different cases. First one in case of a class, second one in case of a method, right? Another third one is in case of your variable. So yes, the answer should be yes. Can we declare a class as final? Yes. Suppose I can write here final class A, right? So inside that we can write our code cell. But what will be the problem once you declare the class as final? So remember, when you declare a class as final, class cannot create its subclass. That means it cannot inherit a new class. Right? If you are making a class as final, then it can't able to create its child class. It can't able to create its child class. So once you try to create the subclass or child class, then it will generate and compile time error, because your class is final, and once a class is final, it cannot be inherited. It cannot able to create its subclass or child class. So that will be the simple answer for question number 3. So now, these are the types of questions. These are the most fundamental questions from Java, and whenever you are planning to appear any interview, so you must be clear your fundamentals, and conceptually you should be clear, so that it will be easier for you to click the exam or campus. So now come to the fourth one. Differentiate. How to differentiate between string buffer and string. So this is another important question from your Java, from the topic string. String buffer versus string. Right? The string buffer versus string. So basically, whenever you are creating the object in case of string, so that is string object are immutable. Basically, string object are immutable. So what is immutable? Immutable means once you create the string object, it cannot be changed. It can't be changed. It can't be changed. Similarly, your string buffer, whenever string buffer is able to create your string object, and that is basically your mutable in nature. That is your mutable in nature. The object are mutable. Mutable in the sense it can be changed. It can be changed. The very simple difference. This is the main difference. String buffer and string. So string buffer class is able to create string object which are mutable in nature. Mutable in nature. That means once you declare the string object, that can be changeable or that can be changed. But in case of string, that is immutable. So string class is able to create a string object which cannot be modified later or which cannot be changed later. Another difference is that whenever you are performing any concatenation operation or anything else, so it basically takes less memory. Your string buffer takes less memory, whereas it takes your more memory. More memory. And next one is the process is very faster here. Operation is faster. Operation is faster as it uses heap memory. It uses heap memory. So in this case, this is slower. So these are the very simple answers for your question number 4, that is difference between string buffer and string. So now let us move to the next questions. That is question number 5. So now question number 5, overloading versus overriding. What is method overloading and method overriding? Overloading versus overriding. So as you already know that these are the very important concept. One is your overloading, another one is your overriding. So when you basically overloading is carried out in a single class. This is in the single class. So it required more than one class because this is possible in your inheritance. More than one class. More than one class is required. So in case of overloading, the method name must be same along with different signature. Same name with different signature. With different signature. That is the parameter. Same name with different parameter. In case of overriding, so that is same name and signature. Because this is possible within two different classes, one base class and another derived class must be there for overriding. But for overloading, that is possible within a single class. When a single class having more than one method having the same name but different parameters, so that will be your overloading. And this is possible in case of your inheritance, when more than one class having the same method with same parameter. And third one, so the example overloading can be implemented by using your compile time polymorphism. This is your compile time concept. Compile time polymorphism. Right? But this is a concept of your runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism. So that will be the simple answer, that is overloading versus overriding. So that is your question number 5. So now let us move to the next one. Question number 6. Then what is your question number 6? Question number 6 is singleton set or singleton class. What is a singleton class in Java? Question number 6 is singleton class. What is singleton class? Singleton class is nothing but whenever you can create a single instance of a class, whenever you create a single instance of a class at a given time, then that is known as singleton class. Now question is that how to make a class a singleton? Because you know that a classes can contain some constructor, and whenever a class is having constructor, you have to make the constructor as private to make the class as singleton. So that is the easy way to make a class singleton. Just declare the constructor of the class as private, and whenever you are creating a single instance of a class at a particular time interval, that is known as your singleton classes. So that also about your question number 6. Next one is question number 7, that is access specifier in Java. Access specifier in Java. So already we know Java basically having 4 different types of access specifier. So what are those? That is, one is public, private, protected, and last one is your default. Right? So these are the 4 different types of access specifier. And whenever the interviewer is asking about a particular access specifier, then you need to explain. But whenever the question is what are the various types of access specifier in Java, then just to the point. In Java, there are 4 different types of access specifier, and that are public, private, protected, and default. That's all. So this is about the question number 7. Now let us move to the question number 8. And question number 8 is difference between this versus super. Now, this is a very important question, and maximum interview you may get this type of questions. And basically, in case of this basically represent the current instance of a class. This basically represent current instance of a class. But what about super? This always represent current instance of base class. So this is the basic difference. So this will be represent the current instance of any class, but super represent the current instance of base class. So this is the important one. So super is basically used in case of your method overriding to represent the base class. So this is your question number 8. Now let us move to the another 2 questions are there. So question number 9 is that what is constructor chaining? Question number 9, that is constructor chaining. So constructor chaining, what is constructor chaining? All of you know constructor. What is a constructor? That is a special type of method which is used to initialize the data object or data members, right? So constructor chaining is a process to call a constructor from another constructor by using the same instance. That is the chaining process. So again I am telling, constructor chaining is a process to calling a constructor from another constructor by using the same instance or with respect to the same instance. And again you can make possible constructor chaining by using this and super. That's all. That is the simple answer for that one. And last one is, what is object cloning? What is object cloning and how it is done? Object cloning. So what is object cloning? So object cloning is a process. Object cloning is a process to create an exact copy of a particular object, or in simple word you can tell that it is a process to create a duplicate object from an existing object. And for object cloning we are using a method, that is clone method. So by using this clone method we can perform object cloning, or we can create a duplicate object of an existing object. And for that you have to also use a marker interface, and that is known as your clonable interface. These two things you need to remember. You need to use clone method and clonable interface. And whenever your object cloning is not successful, at that time you will get an exception, that is known as your clone not supported extraction. Clone not support exception. Right? So all these are the basic most frequently asked 10 Java interview questions by SCL Technology in the year of 2020 and 2021. So accordingly somebody have to prepare like this all the fundamental questions before appearing the questions. So accordingly you need to answer the questions. The thing is that you need to make your answer very short. Don't go for unnecessary explanation until and unless the interviewer is not asking. And be fundamentally clear, be conceptually clear. So that's all for today's video. Thank you.